Shalom, this is Good YAHAWAH out of Great Millstone, Atlanta, giving all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to all the Akim that are pushing out this truth and sincerity. It's a quick lesson, and it's going to be centered around EMF frequencies, 5G, and radiation. All right, and I've got an article here. I'm going to get into what EMF is. Basically, it's electromagnetic fields, and this is off of a World Health Organization website. It says, what are electromagnetic fields? What happens when you're exposed to electromagnetic fields? It says exposure to EMFs is not a new phenomenon. However, during the 20th century, environmental exposure to man-made EMFs has been steadily increasing as growing electricity demand, ever advanced technologies, and changes in social behavior have created more and more artificial sources. It says everyone is exposed to a complex mix of weak electric and magnetic fields, both at home and at work. Let's see. Tiny electrical currents exist in the human body due to chemical reactions that occur as a part of bodily functions. Now, one thing, basically everything is like the Wi-Fi you use, the microwaves, the radio, the satellite radio, and different radio, your local radio, whatever. All right, these they use frequencies. All right, and you have satellite dishes, in various locations. All right, and these signals are being broadcasted. All right, and basically what this is saying is, it will interfere with your body, because your body actually has electricity as well. As a matter of fact, when you do, there's an experiment that I used to do in school. Everyone hold hands, and then one person holds a light bulb, and that light bulb would spark. So that proves that our bodies actually generate electricity. All right, and your brain is actually the how do I say? Actually, I'll go to it. Brain. Let me see. Let me get it real quick. Okay. Yeah, this is another article. It says your brain has its own FM receiver. All right. Circuits in the brain can pick up the senses just like a living FM radio. All right. They think that we can feel textures because the brain tirelessly monitors the changing of frequencies of neurons. Okay. So our brains are actually, I believe, more powerful than your electric waves. Okay, I believe our brains are a lot more powerful. I can go into it, but then we'll be getting into a lot of biology and shit like that. But this is I keep going back to the article. It says, for example, nerves relay signals by transmitting electric impulses. All right, that's the way our brain works. Is your brain will send signals through your nerves to your different organs and your different body parts. Okay, and these are electrical synapses, which basically help you be able to do things. All right, and it says most biochemical reactions from digestion to brain activities go along with the rearrangement of charged particles. Even the heart is electrically active, an activity that your doctor can trace with the help of electrocardiogram. All right. And so this is just proving that your body is an electrical conductor, all right, and it sends and receives frequencies, all right. Now let's get to the point. It says let me look for this. Okay, here's the point. It is not disputed that EMF fields above certain levels can trigger biological effects. Experiments with healthy volunteers indicate that short-term exposure at the levels present in the environment or home do not cause any apparent detrimental effects. Exposure to higher levels that might be harmful are restricted by national and international guidelines, which that's what the so-called white man is basically uh, putting out there is higher levels of EMFs, or higher level frequencies, and that's what they want to do with this 5G. All right, now whether it's really linked to coronavirus, we don't know. You know, a lot of people are starting to connect the two, but you know, we can't, you know, say what it is or what it isn't. You know, but what we do know is that people are getting sick, and that's for sure. And it says, we're going back. Yeah, higher exposures to higher levels might be harmful. Okay, so this is based off of the scientific research that they've done. Basically, that you know, it's very harmful to you. It says um, key points: a wide range of environmental influences causes biological effects. Um, Special research is needed to identify and measure health hazards. Um, let's get to another article. But basically, you know, this is just a brief overview of what EMFs are. Um, oh, check this out. It says effects on general health. Some members of the public have attributed a diffuse collection of symptoms to low levels of exposure to EMFs at home. Reported symptoms include headaches, anxiety, suicide, and depression, nausea, fatigue, and loss of libido. All right. So these you can't tell me that this man is not the devil. All right, is because he is deliberately putting these radio waves that are causing people to have headaches, anxiety, suicide, and depression. Okay, and if you look at today, um, you know, the depression levels, the suicide levels at our all-time high. All right, fatigue. You know, people are walking around, and you know, even myself. You know, sometimes you just feel like you have a lack of energy. All right, and like I said, you know, this is due to um, you know, the elites that are you know that have authorized, you know, these different cell phone towers to shoot out, you know, these large frequencies, and it also is it's basically saying that it's linked to cancer. All right, and so we're gonna get into some more. All right, it says this is another article on Healthline.com. It says most of us are used by most of us are used to the conveniences of modern life, but few of us are aware of the possible health risks presented by gadgets that would make our world work. It turns out that our cell phones, microwaves, Wi-Fi routers, computers, and other appliances send out a stream of invisible energy waves that some experts are concerned about. All right. It says, I'm just gonna skip around and get the main points. Over the years, scientists have learned that many appliances that use electricity also create EMFs like power lines do. X-rays and some medical imaging procedures like MRIs were also found to make EMFs. And those X-rays and MRIs that they do, those are very, very high. Those are putting out very high frequencies. That's why they say you can't wear any metal. Actually, some people that do CAT scans, they come out with brain damage and shit like that. All right, it's because those frequencies, being concentrated, and you being exposed to it for a certain amount of time, is very that alone proves that it's harmful. The fact that they put you under these CAT scans or whatever, and you can come out with brain damage or whatever. All right, all right. It says there's two types of EMF exposure. EMF exposure appliance. It says low level radiation, also called non-ionizing radiation, is mild and thought to be harmless to people. Appliances like microwave ovens, cell phones, Wi-Fi routers, as well as power lines send low level radiation. And I don't really believe that, you know, because they're basically saying that low level radiation is harmless, which we know that it is harmful, and it may not be harmful, let's say over a short period of time, but your body is constantly being years and years of being exposed to it. It's definitely harmful. All right. It says research on harmfulness. Um, there's no disagreement over EMF safety because there's no strong research suggesting that EMFs harm human health. And that's, like I said, that's the devil for you, because here it is, they're putting these things out. They've got these large cell phone towers, but there's no there's no research on whether or not it's harmful or not. Now we know that it's harmful, because we can feel the effects of it. But here it is, they don't have no. Here it is, it's been out for years, but they don't have no research of it. All right, it says, let's get this. The researchers followed, let me see. Concerned about human health and cell phone use, researchers began what would become the largest study to compare cancer cases and cell phone users and non-users back in 2000. The researchers followed cancer rates and cell phone use in more than 5,000 people in 13 countries. They found a loose connection between the highest rate of exposure and glioma, a type of cancer that occurs in the brain and spinal cord. The gliomas were often found on the same side of the head that people used to speak on the phone. So listen to that. These cell phones, that's why you should never put the cell phone to your ear. What I usually do is I'll put it on speakerphone or, your car stereo or whatever. All right, but when you're putting that phone, next to your brain like that, it's bad for you. Even a lot of people with these Bluetooth headphones, all right, they came out and said that a lot of these Bluetooth headphones are very harmful, like these earpods and all these different things. They're sending out frequencies which are right next to your brain. It says symptoms of EMF exposure. So this is the point that I really want to get into. It says sleep disturbances, including insomnia. Now, how many people in the world suffer from that? Not being able to go to sleep. Headache, depression, tiredness and fatigue, changes in memory, lack of concentration. When you look at these kids, these children, we're thinking that, they have ADHD or whatever, but it's these damn frequencies. It says dizziness, irritability, loss of appetite, restlessness and anxiety, nausea, skin burning and tingling, and more. All right. Now, so this is long. Bottom line, the thing is, we're effed. Because our lives depend on these devices, and there's no turning back. Well, you can't just turn off all the. You can't turn off all the power, the power grid and the power lines and everything, all these frequencies. You can't turn them off. You have no choice but to deal with it. And that's why we need a savior. That's why we have to be delivered out of this place. All right, because it's we're being exposed. You know, we're being exposed to harmful chemicals. The air is constantly being polluted through chemtrails. All right, the ocean is being polluted. Okay, you know, your water supply. You know, all these things are constantly, you know, being defiled. Let's get that. This is let's get Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 and 4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. It says the earth mourning, and the earth is in mourning right now. Okay, because you know these animals are miserable, people are miserable. We just read that people are depressed, all right, due to these EMF frequencies. Verse 5, it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. All right, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. All right, so the earth is defiled under the rulers. And who's to blame? Who's to blame? The elites, okay, the people that have, you know, signed these different things in the bill, and, you know, the movers and shakers, so to speak, the people who have funded all these things, you know, they're to blame. All right, but it says the earth is defiled. And this, like I said, the earth is if you can't see that the earth is defiled, then something is wrong with you. All right, with all the pollution, you know, everything. Um, they've even got a what is it? Basically, there's a big patch of pollution, I believe, in the Atlantic Ocean that's as big as a country. You know, or no, they said it's as big as the size of Texas. You know how big Texas is? You know, and um, matter of fact, I'll pull a picture of it. Um, okay, it's called um, yeah, the Pacific Garbage Patch, North Atlantic Garbage Patch. All right. Um, and then you have animals. You know, I believe I believe they said like all damn near all the fish have microplastics in their mouths and shit like that. So that's why, like I said, this earth needs a savior. The earth really needs a big reset button. You know. Now this is now I want to get into 5G. I'm not gonna make this super long, but basically a lot of people are bringing out about this 5G and how this 5G is linked to this coronavirus. And a lot of people that are bringing it out are basically saying just look up the symptoms of radiation sickness. Now let's get the let's get what radiation sickness is. Radiation sickness is damage to your body caused by a large dose of radiation, often received over a short period of time. The amount of radiation absorbed by the body, the absorbed dose, determines how sick you'll be. All right. Um, Possible symptoms include nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, headache, fever. Now, are these not the same symptoms as the coronavirus? You know, and I'm not saying that 5G is the coronavirus. I believe they may be two separate things, but I do believe that there is some sort of link between the two. You know, um, but it says fever, dizziness, disorientation, weakness, and fatigue, hair loss, bloody vomit, stools from internal bleeding, infections, low blood pressure. And, you know, when you look at the symptoms of this coronavirus, matter of fact, let's just pull it up and let's see the similarities. It says, and by the way, what they're doing is they're basically um, diagnosing people based off of their symptoms. They're diagnosing people, that's why you're seeing the numbers that you're seeing of all the coronavirus cases, because they're not able to test a lot of these people. But what they're saying is basically if you fit the symptoms, then basically you got it. Or basically, if a person dies, or whatever, basically they died from coronavirus. So they're using a lot of these numbers. How they're getting a lot of these numbers is from people who are showing symptoms. All right, but it says here's the symptoms for coronavirus. It says uh, high blood pressure, heart problems or diabetes. Um, oh, I'm sorry. It says older people with those with underlying medical problems are more likely to develop serious illness. So that's talking about the high blood pressure. But the real symptoms are fever, cough, difficulty breathing. All right. Now, going back to the symptoms of radiation poison, we see fever, we see fatigue, okay, low blood pressure, and the list goes on. But you know, these are just examples of more and more examples of how this man is destroying the earth. Now, let's see. I'm gonna get a couple of precepts real quick. This is let's get Ephesians 2:2. It says, where in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So what this is talking about is basically, because it said, according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air. That's talking about the spiritual demon Satan, okay? And you know, it's a spirit. It's basically a wicked spirit that is all over the earth. Now, you can also relate that to these frequencies. These frequencies are wicked as hell, you know, and we know that the frequencies are in the air. So it says the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. Okay. Um, Now, what this precept is actually talking about is how, matter of fact, I'll get it. Verse 3, I'll just keep going. Among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in the lust of our flesh, desiring and fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But the Most High, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us. So basically what this is talking about is how when you go to verse 11, it basically is talking about how we used to live according to the world, but we started to move according to the Spirit. Now let's get Ephesians 6:12. It says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Now, like I said before, these EMFs are basically spiritual wickedness in high places. You got to be a damn mad scientist. That's why we know that the so-called white man, which is Esau in the Bible, he's a mad scientist. You got to be, crazy as hell to come up with something that's going to destroy all of humanity. All right. It says, I'll read it again. Ephesians 6:12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities. So this is a spiritual fight, okay? This is a spiritual thing. That's why, we continue to push this word out, is because our words are, how we fight um, this battle is through spiritually, you know, by pushing out the truth, okay? Putting that vibration out, putting that righteous vibration out there. And it says, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world. And that's talking about the elites, okay? Your wicked rulers, okay, or what people also call the shadow government. All right, and please believe that they're the ones calling the shots. They're the ones that are controlling your TV stations. They're the ones that are controlling your all these things. You know, it says against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay, so um, this is spiritual wickedness. Okay, that they've done. All right, by putting these bad frequencies out here, and it's gonna go to the next level. All right, this 5G is going to basically, they're saying that this 5G is making animals and birds drop out of the sky. You know, they said that this 5G, basically you don't even need a cell phone anymore. You can basically walk outside and just say Uber, and basically your voice will be picked up, and they'll send you an Uber. All right, so this is the future that we've been telling you about. I just did the lesson on welcome to the future. No more handshakes, no more personal interactions. But this is the future that they want to implement. Is everything is virtual, everything is easy, you know, basically, for more control. Okay, and they're gonna, make it seem like, oh, this is 5G, it's faster. You can download in point 0.2 seconds. You could do this, you can do that, but it's at the cost of your own health. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and end it, but well, first I'm gonna bring out what we can do to combat these frequencies. All right, now of course, matter of fact, let me keep reading that in Ephesians, because the best way to combat it, I'll keep going in that, because the best way to combat it is you have to have the Spirit of the Lord. Okay, the Lord is going to protect you from these things. You know, the Lord may have it to where we really don't feel these the effects of these frequencies like that. As bad as these other people. You know, and I believe that. So I believe that to be true. This is Ephesians 6:13. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all to stand. Okay, now it says, take unto you the whole armor of God, the whole armor of the Most High. All right, which is having that righteous spirit on you. Okay, having that spirit of protection. When you read Psalms 91, it goes into how the Lord is, a help. Okay, a shield. All right. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked. All right. So, it says, and take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of the Most High. All right, now these are the ways that we combat these things. Okay, these are the instruments. It says the sword of the Spirit, the shield of faith, the breastplate of righteousness. These are all ways that we combat these wicked energies. All right, because the world is really full of darkness. There's only really few people on this planet Earth that are living righteously. Everyone is doing what the hell they want. But there's very few that are actually doing the will of the Heavenly Father. All right. And we've been ordained, we've been chosen to warn you about these things, to warn you about the times that we're living in. We've been telling you about coronavirus, not coronavirus, but we've been telling you about a pestilence and martial law and um, the RFID microchip. We've been telling you this for years. All right. Now this is what you can do to basically combat EMF frequencies, and then I'm gonna end off on this. It says, um, first of all, uh, what says, yes, copper usually in the form of a copper mesh will shield against most wavelength radio frequency radiation and other EMF radiation. Copper is highly effective at blocking or shielding radio frequency radiation because it absorbs radio and magnetic waves. Okay. Um, so that's pretty much the answer. You can wear copper jewelry, copper bracelets, different things, and that'll help uh, absorb those frequencies, so that way you won't be as affected. Um, Now here's another, we're also into the crystals, okay, and a few crystals that you can go to for EMF protection. Here's just a few of them: fluorite, black tourmaline, pyrite, smoky quartz. I want to say shungite is another good one. Let's look up shungite. Shungite is believed to have the ability to absorb, completely neutralize the dangerous frequencies from EMF radiation. Okay, so these are different ways. These are different stones that you can wear, or put around you. Okay, so that you can block these frequencies. All right, and like I said, you can do the copper as well. All right, but the point being is that this EMF is just another reason that this place has to be destroyed. Okay, these frequencies and how it's harmful to our health. If they were to shut off, um, once they shut off these frequencies, you know, just imagine. Well, I guess what I'm saying is just imagine if they were to shut off these frequencies. Radio waves. We've been living amongst these frequencies for a long time. But imagine once it's just nothing. It's just the vibration of the earth. The frequency of the earth that's being put out. That's gonna blow your mind. You're gonna basically probably evolve. But that's how the kingdom of heaven is gonna be. That's why the kingdom of heaven is gonna be such a peaceful place. All right, because you're not gonna have damn cell phone towers and 5G towers and all these different things, damn radio station and shit like that in the kingdom. It's not gonna be that. Okay, you're just gonna have a righteous vibration that's gonna go out through the earth, and it's gonna be set up through YAHAWASHI and the elect. All right, now I'll end off on that, giving all praises to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM Rakakudash. Double honors to the elders, a great millstone. Shalom.